Okay, Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. So you want to build Android apps without actually typing code. Well, let's see what will that actually get you. So today we're gonna be talking about Kodular. But before that, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Fudel Mahbatam. You can call me Umar. Currently, I'm a ninth grader studying in Indian boarding school. And today, this is our topic, Kodular, which is an application that you can use to build Android apps without having to type actual code. Okay, so first, what is actually Kodular? Well, Kodular, you could take it as like a drag and drop Android app builder in your browser. So it's something similar to like coding, but instead of typing the lines manually, you would drag some blocks and then connect them to create the code. So it is similar to Scratch or MakeCode if you've heard of it. And it's built on the MIT App Inventor. These are some of the few of the features here. As you can see, it has a designer mode, a blocks editor, a live testing, and also the ability to be able to be exported to APK or AAB, depending on your needs and wants. So this is the designer mode. Basically, it's like a place where you can build your UI, so you can shape how you want your app to look like later. So from the side of the palette, you can drag components like this into a phone-shaped canvas. Or maybe it could also be laptop or maybe tablet shape, depending on the frame that you use. Then you can set the properties here. So for example, if you want to change the text color, the font, or maybe the color, you can change it later on the properties panel. And it's pretty straightforward. And sometimes it's almost too straightforward. Sometimes, even though it will look good in the Kodular, sometimes when you actually live test it, it's not gonna fit into your phone. So you make sure you have to double check. So you don't only have to make and design it, but you also have to actually and physically try it out on your device. So it has drag and drop components, property panel for styling, and also you can arrange them in rows, columns, or other things. But the downside is you don't have like the freedom, the design freedom, as if you were designing with Figma. So you need to do it more specifically. You need to follow a set of rules, or maybe like it depends on the external frame, the other frames that you put into the things. So like it has to follow the arrangement, and if you want to change, you have to add another arrangement like that. Moving on to the main thing, which is the blocks, where this actually make the apps work. So it's where we actually start writing the code and make it actually do things. So it's not just visual, but it has a function that makes it really an application instead of just a wireframe. So you can just snap some colored blocks together, as I mentioned before, to create logic. So there's a lot of categories like events, control, and you can also make variables. And there's also text and math. So for example, you can check this. So when button one click, or maybe when screen one initialize, it will set a label in the screen to hello. This is a text box, and then it's gonna show an alert. Oh, welcome. So the application will then show an alert in the companion. Oh, hi, welcome. And then later there will be another announcement. Oh, you have to input your name first. So this is where the magic happens. Yeah, these are the blocks. So this is one of the two modes. in Kodular, besides the designer mode, it is the coding mode or the blocks mode. And these are some of the key features of Kodular. As you can see here, we have Firebase integration, so it can authenticate and connect with real-time databases and other storages. And this is one of the superpowers of Kodular. It also has an extension systems that you can purchase or you can connect to with your app, while also having API support and live companion. So whenever you're building, you can directly connect your phone and then you can directly test it to make sure that your apps work and look just as how you want it to look and work. And then for the material components, there's a lot of options that you can use. So you can use buttons, you can use labels, or text box. Maybe you want to add like speech recognizer, text to speech. That's up to you. You can directly just search it up in the panel here, in the right panel, and then just drag it into your canvas. And then, of course, it can directly be exported to not only APK and AAB, but it can also be exported to .aia and .ais. So for example, if you want your app to really be used in like Play Store, you can export it to AAB. But of course, even though it says no code, marketing it's more of a marketing tactic. So you're still not gonna avoid logic. So you still have to think logically to write the apps. So here are some of the downsides. So no iOS, so you can only make and use the apps on Android. There's no fancy animations, no scale, so it won't adjust to your phone size, and you have to debug if you have a problem. So the conclusion is, should you use it or not? If you want to learn app logic and you want to try to start making apps, or you want it to be Firebase powered, so we could do that. But besides that, if you want production grade apps or something serious, I wouldn't recommend to use it. And after you've learned Kodular, you can try to start and work with Android Studio, Flutter, or maybe React. So I guess that's all for today. I hope this is quite beneficial for not just me but also the audience. I'm Fidel Mawatan, signing out. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.